Good afternoon. It was a place, I suppose, Moses never really thought that he would be. Moses, the chosen leader by God to lead the people of God, the Israelites, was in a terrible place because God was angry at his people. His people had turned away from him. They were worshiping the golden calf. They had created this idol, and now they were worshiping it as if it was their God. They had fallen away from God. They had forgotten all about the great things that God had done for them. And so God was rightly angry with them. And God said he was going to punish them. And he told Moses, he said, Moses, you go down there and you tell them that they're going to be punished. I'm going to wipe them off the face of the earth, and I'm going to start over with you. And Moses found himself in this awkward place, this place where maybe we wouldn't know what to do or how to handle it, standing between God and the people. And Moses did the only thing that he could think to do, and that was turn it back over to God, to remind God of the promises that God had made. Listen to what he says, Exodus chapter 32, verse 13. Remember Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, your servants, to whom you swore by your own self. You said to them, I will multiply your seed like the stars of the sky, and I will give all this land that I have spoken about to your seed, and they shall inherit it forever. The only thing that Moses could do was turn it around and remind God of the promises that God had made. To be able to say, look back in history, remember God, remember how you promised the forefathers that this is what you were going to do. You are a God who keeps your promises. You are a God who always makes good on what you say. And Moses found himself in that position, and maybe we've never found ourselves in that position. But it's good to be reminded from our perspective too, that God does keep his promises. And if ever we need a reminder that God keeps his promises, we can think about the way in which we could remind God that he keeps his promises. We could say to God, yes, you would be angry. Yes, you would have every right to punish me for the sins that I do, to judge me and to strike me down. But remember, God, remember the promises that you made. Remember how you sent your son Jesus into this world. Remember how he lived and died and rose again. Remember how you have forgiven the sins of all people. Remember, God. And as we remind God, we're actually reminding ourselves. Because God never forgets. And God never backs out of his promises. And God always does what he says he's going to do. And that's really a promise that God makes for you. That God is always going to be there to keep his promises. And that God is going to be the one who really has saved you because of Jesus and given you the promise of heaven because of Jesus. That's a promise that God is never going to forget. Until we see each other again, the Lord's blessings on your day.